I never imagined my journey to independence would turn into a war zone, but standing in front of 40 neighbor, defending myself against my own mother's lies, I realized how far she was willing to go to keep control over me. The woman who gave me life now painted me as dangerous, violent, unstable, just because I dared to love someone and step away. Some neighbor nodded in sympathy. Others whispered and looked away. It hurt more than I expected, being cast as a villain in my own home. Thanksgiving was supposed to be a quiet escape, just Jason and me, cooking turkey, laughing at dumb commercials, pretending we were normal, but the illusion shattered when the doorbell rang. My mother stood there, smug, her arm linked with the father who abandoned me when I was 11. She had orchestrated the perfect emotional ambush, pretending to forgive him just to weaponize his presence. My father looked uncomfortable, clearly manipulated into this twisted performance. I told them to leave, my voice steadier than my hands. I cried for hours, mourning a father I'd lost twice now, and seeing clearly how far she'd go to sabotage my happiness. That clarity fueled a shift. I would no longer play defense. Jason and I announced our engagement publicly, claiming joy with defiant pride. Within hours, she faked a heart attack on Facebook, tagging distant relatives and old classmates, painting herself the tragic victim of my betrayal. Wedding venues began canceling mysteriously until one manager confided that someone had called claiming we were con artists. We began operating under fake names and secret emails, criminals planning a wedding. Then came the insurance incident. She tried to have me declared mentally incompetent to regain control. I had to prove my own sanity to my insurer, with work evaluations and statements from my boss. The final proof came from Melissa, a former coworker of Jason's, who recorded my mother trying to bribe her with $5,000 to seduce Jason and fake an affair. Her voice was unmistakable, describing his weaknesses in disturbing detail. Still, we didn't want revenge. We wanted peace. My therapist, Dr. Stevens, documented everything, naming the pattern for what it was: narcissistic abuse. Then she filed for power of attorney over me, complete with forged medical documents. It failed, thanks to Dr. Stevens' testimony, but the audacity rattled me. When we returned home one evening, every photo of Jason and me was gone, replaced with staged mother-daughter photos. A note read, "I'm reclaiming my baby." That night, we changed the locks and installed cameras. Next, she targeted Jason's work, sending fake, violent messages attributed to him. His IT team traced them back to her IP. She escalated until she showed up at my bridal shower in a wedding dress, claiming she'd stayed pure for me, that I was the only true love of her life. That was our breaking point. Linda, Jason's mom, worked with her lawyer friend Roger to compile every piece of evidence, texts, recordings, photos, police reports, into a legal case that resembled a novel. The judge granted a restraining order. 500 feet, no contact, not even through others. My mother screamed as she was escorted out, but it was done. The harassment didn't stop. She showed up at Linda's at midnight with a box of baby photos and was arrested for violating the order. She later got admitted to a psychiatric hospital after causing a scene at my elementary school, sobbing about predators and her lost baby. She was released the day before the wedding. We hired off-duty cops. When she showed up in her wedding dress again, she was arrested on the spot. As she was led away, she screamed I'd regret this, that I was dead to her. But that day wasn't about her. My father, calmer now, walked me down the aisle. Not as redemption, but as a gift to the little girl who wondered if she'd ever mattered. The ceremony was peaceful, the reception joyful, and the honeymoon a true escape. When we returned, 17 voicemails from jail waited. I blocked the number, choosing peace. Writing the victim impact statement was harder than expected. How do you describe a lifetime of weaponized love? She got 6 months in jail and probation with mandatory therapy. I expected relief. I felt sadness. But beneath it was freedom. Real freedom. We lived quietly, adopted a dog, got promotions, started trying for a baby. Every normal moment felt sacred. When she was released, we stayed cautious. But then a letter came. Short. Apologetic. No manipulation. Therapy, she said, was helping. I waited a month to reply, then sent one sentence. When you can be happy for my happiness, we can talk. 3 years passed. I had a son, named him after Jason's grandfather. We lived in peace. Then her therapist reached out. She wanted a meeting, and only if I agreed. We met in a park. Jason nearby. She looked older, calmer. She didn't interrupt. Didn't manipulate. Just sat. She asked about work. I asked about therapy. She told me about a support group for parents with attachment issues. She cried when she saw my son but didn't reach for him. Just said he had beautiful eyes. We meet monthly now. Always in public. Always with boundaries. It's not perfect, but it's something. A careful, quiet dance toward healing. Thank you for listening to my story. If it moved you in any way, please like, comment, and subscribe to Kindle Stories for more powerful journeys like this. Your support means the world.